Previously on the Holloway House, Clara Bennett came to Black Hollow searching for the truth behind the town's darkest secret, the Holloway House. What she found was more than an abandoned building with a haunted past. The house was alive, its walls pulsing like flesh, its whispers calling out to her from the shadows. Determined to uncover the truth, Clara ventured deeper inside, discovering a hidden basement filled with horrifying remnants of past experiments. A journal left behind by the house's former owner, Dr. Elias Holloway, revealed the unimaginable. The house didn't just hold spirits, it consumed them. As Clara read, the air grew colder, and the shadows around her began to move. Faces emerged from the walls, mouths twisted in silent screams. The whispers became deafening, turning into frantic warnings. Run, before it's too late. But the house had other plans. Darkness swallowed Clara whole as the basement walls closed in. Her flashlight flickered and died, and a chilling voice whispered from the void, "Welcome home." And then, silence. Now, trapped in the belly of a living nightmare, Clara must fight to escape. But as the house tightens its grip, she begins to wonder, is escape even possible? Clara's flashlight flickered and died, plunging her into darkness. The walls of the Holloway house seemed to breathe, their faint, pulsating glow casting eerie shadows. The whispers grew louder, more frantic, echoing in her ears. "You belong here," they hissed. Clara tried to scream, but no sound came out. The house had her now, and it would never let her go. Blindly, Clara stumbled through the darkness, her hands brushing against the cold, wet walls. She found herself in a room she hadn't seen before, a room filled with mirrors. In one, she saw her reflection, but it wasn't her. The reflection smiled, its eyes black and empty. "You can't escape," it whispered. Clara smashed the mirror, but the shards reformed instantly. The house was playing with her. As Clara pressed forward, the hallway twisted in unnatural ways, the air thick with an unseen force. She found herself standing before a doorway that hadn't been there before. Its wooden surface cracked, the handle rusted with age. A whisper curled around her ears. Inside, with a hesitant breath, she turned the knob. The room was eerily silent. No whispers, no shifting shadows, just stillness. Dust floated in the dim light, and in the center stood a lone chair facing the wall. On it sat a doll, its porcelain face cracked, its black button eyes fixed on something unseen. Clara took a step forward. The door slammed shut behind her. Clara found a hidden door behind a crumbling section of the wall. It was small and barely visible, with faint, glowing symbols etched into its surface. She pushed it open, revealing a room filled with strange, ancient artifacts. In the center of the room was a pedestal, and on it sat a rusted key. The whispers grew louder, urging her to take it. But Clara hesitated. What would the key unlock? Clara's breath hitched. The silence pressed down on her, thick and suffocating. She turned toward the wall, and her pulse quickened. Words scratched into the peeling wallpaper. Hundreds of them. "It's watching. It's waiting. Don't turn around." Her skin prickled as she slowly turned back toward the chair. The doll was gone. A scraping sound slithered from the corner of the room. Something moved in the darkness. A voice, barely above a whisper, spoke from the shadows. "You shouldn't be here." Clara lunged for the door, her fingers scrambling at the handle. It wouldn't budge. The whispers grew into a chorus, filling the room with a soundless scream. Then, the doll's voice, high and hollow, echoed from behind her. "Let's play a game." Clara picked up the key, and the room began to shift. The walls closed in, the whispers turned into screams. She ran, clutching the key, and found herself in a long, narrow hallway. At the end was a door, its surface covered in the same glowing symbols as the key. Clara inserted the key, and the door creaked open, revealing a staircase leading upward. The air inside Holloway House was growing heavier, pressing down on Clara's chest like an unseen weight. She stepped into the hallway, her pulse quickening as the floor groaned beneath her feet. The dim light from her flickering flashlight barely cut through the thick darkness ahead. Then, movement, a shadow, not hers. It slithered across the far end of the hallway, disappearing into the blackness of an open doorway. Clara's breath caught. She wasn't alone. Summoning what little courage she had left, she edged forward, her footsteps slow, deliberate. The walls here were different, slick, almost pulsing, as if the house itself was breathing. As she reached the open doorway, a cold gust of air blew past her, carrying with it a whisper, soft, broken. Her name, Clara. The sound wasn't coming from inside the room. It was coming from behind her. Spinning around, her flashlight stuttered, catching something standing in the hallway. A figure, tall and distorted, its limbs too long, its head slightly tilted. Eyes, black, hollow voids, stared back at her. Then, in a single, unnatural motion, it lurched forward. Clara ran. Clara climbed the staircase, each step creaking under her weight. The attic was dark and filled with dust, its air thick with the scent of decay. In the center of the room was an old wooden chest. The whispers grew louder, more insistent. "Open it," they said. Clara hesitated, but curiosity got the better of her. She opened the chest, and inside was a photograph of a family, the Holloways. But their faces were blurred, as if the house had erased them. Clara examined the photograph, and the whispers grew louder. She realized the family had been the first victims of the house. Dr. Holloway had trapped their souls within its walls, using their fear to fuel his experiments. The house wasn't just alive, it was a prison, and Clara was its newest inmate. Clara found a journal in the chest, its pages filled with frantic, handwritten notes. The journal spoke of a ritual, a way to weaken the house's hold on its victims. But the ritual required something from the outside world, piece of the living. Clara knew what she had to do. She took out a small knife and cut a lock of her hair. The house groaned in protest, but Clara ignored it. She had to try. The moment Clara stepped inside, the house decided she was never meant to leave. Now, the walls close in, the whispers crawl beneath her skin, and the darkness is no longer just around her, it's inside her. A force unseen tightens its grip, pulling her deeper, twisting reality into a nightmare she cannot wake from. But the house isn't finished yet. It's only just begun. What horrors lie ahead? What secrets refuse to stay buried? And most chilling of all, what if the house isn't trapping Clara, but calling her home?